30th of April 2022, I turned 35. But in the grand scheme of things, what does this mean? A few weeks ago, I was at a gathering where we got to introduce ourselves as well as say our age, and for a second there, I wasn't sure just how old I was. Am I 33? I remember wondering. I had to do a quick calculation, and the facts and figures said I was 34. So I said I was 34. But that moment got me thinking, what does I am 34 mean? What does any age for that matter even mean? And I guess I have been musing over this since then. Society, culture, traditions would say to us things like a lady or a man at 35 needs to be married. In fact, they prefer to use the phrase settle down. Raising 2 or 3 kids, or at the very least, even just one. Have or be striving towards the prescribed definition of a successful career, yada yada yada, the list goes on. What I am trying to say is that society has a way of predetermining life for us, establishing in advance certain expectations of how we should do life and how our life should go, and honestly, by and large, programming us to fit into this mold. All through your life, you hear things like a girl shouldn't, or a boy should, or by 25, a boy or a girl must, or it is expected of one to do, or to be, or to become ABC by XYZ time. You know the drill, right? And it is such a strong programming that it owns and determines and feeds our mindset and our worldview and our entire perspective of life. So much so that for centuries it has been lived out and passed down from one generation to the next, with a little modification here and there based on different contexts of culture or traditions or the times. But by and large, it is all the same principles and patterns. And for the most part, we don't question it. We simply live through it, going through the motions and the cycles as we pass on the baton. Or, if we do question it, we do it ever so quietly in our most silent of thoughts until the noise of society muffles the gentle, curious, and defiant voice in us, until we can hear it no more. But for a while now, I have been questioning this "it is just the way life is" narrative that society also presented me with. Somewhere in 2014, I was 27 at the time, I began to give that still quiet voice more attention. I allowed it to speak up and to question and challenge me on the status quo all around me. And over time, it became strong enough to roam freely in my mind, no more leashes, no more restraints, and thus form and create new pictures and new realities of life for me. And over the years, this voice, the liberated voice in me, has gotten confident and louder and more daring. And so, for my 35th year, I am writing this letter to myself in honor of this day, which I will share publicly with the hope that you not only resonate with some aspects of it, but that it speaks to you and that it reaches out to your true voice and brings you true life. My dear beloved Rita, today in human chronological years, you turn 35. That is 35 years of physical existence. It's funny though, you've been telling me you feel like you are 30, other times 33. Maybe it's because it was at these timestamps where you accepted to go deeper with your awakening journey. Or maybe it's because you've become fitter and healthier and more energetic this past year, so you feel younger. Plus, you do not want to ever be associated with the foolishness and madness you lived through in your 20s. Whatever the case, I just want to say I absolutely adore and delight in how present and in tune with your true self you currently are, in ways I haven't ever seen you be before, and in depths I always knew you were capable of, if you stayed determined to push into, which you did. And I love that for you. I love that you understand now that you are not simply a physical shell called a body with all these predefined life goals to attain to, and annually on the date you were born celebrate a new year that they, without understanding, simply call aging. Now you fully grasp in your mind's eye that you are spirit fast, and thus you existed before time and will exist after time, and presently you simultaneously exist in and out of time. The choices you make on your journey need not be influenced by external systems and sources that can only understand your physical and limited attributes and makeup, that is, your humanity. Because encoded in you, in the depths of your being and your existence, is your connection to the divine as your guide and as your light into your purpose, into your ordination, into your destiny. May your essence forever flow from this connection as you watch life, true life, spring forth from deep within you. Continue to stay connected to the true life source, and thus always find the strength to discard and do away with flawed systems and patterns of living that suck out all the life in you by telling you what to do, how to be, and how to live their way, because they only comprehend your humanity attribute and don't understand your true, inexhaustive divine needs. Be led and be guided by the internal, from within you, not externally. Live out of your inside, not out of your outside. Let your inside define life and how you should do it for you. You were created and conceptualized in and by divinity, and then you were sent here into time on a spiritual excursion, an adventure, an assignment, an evolution call. You are to live in the perfection of His intention towards man, which is to get you to a specific destiny. The point that God intended when He said, "Let us make man in our image, and according to our likeness, let them have dominion." This is your assignment. This is your life's purpose, my dear spirit being. To attain to the fullness of your spirit nature is your highest point. This is your true destiny. You are more than a human being, Rita. You are spirit. You are a spirit being. So say it with me. I am a spirit being. Your full essence, in its entirety, in its wholeness, is made up of much more than the dust of the ground. You are a spirit being because divine breath brought your existence to life. Rita, it has been and it is fascinating watching you evolve, watching you transition, watching you become, watching you be. I believe, had you allowed it, this process could have been quickened and happened much earlier in time, or you could have curtailed and delayed it and let it happen in your latter years. Worse still, you could have missed all your opportunities and never given this process room to have its full way with you. But here you are in your 35th year, fully blooming, fully entering into knowing, fully entering into truth. And so today, this is why we celebrate your turning 35. We don't merely celebrate your chronological ascent and the predefined success you've acquired thus far, but we celebrate the consciousness you have entered into on this year's birth date. We celebrate the understanding and knowledge and wisdom you've attained to. We celebrate the past, present, and future fruit of your process that we are witnessing. So here's to you, beloved. Here's to you, my love. a girl called to and responding to a new and living way. His way, his truth, his life. Living in the divine. A blessed happy birthday in him to you. I love you, Rita. Hello, chapter 35.